The starship Icarus slipped out of hyperspace, its sleek silver hull shimmering against the backdrop of the blue-green planet below. It was an impressive vessel, a gift from the Galactic University to the Planetary Exchange Program. This semester, Earth had been chosen as the host planet for the new cohort of alien exchange students. Each student was from a different world, with species as varied as the stars themselves. The students had come from worlds where the laws of nature were drastically different, where life evolved in ways unimaginable to others. But Earth was something different. It was a place that had earned its reputation across the galaxy, and its reputation preceded it. Earth was known as a Deathworld. Among the students was Tessa, a young Zelrian, her turquoise skin glowing faintly in the low light of the ship's observation deck. Her long antennae twitched, sensing the new world approaching. She, like the others, had heard the rumors about Earth, tales of monstrous predators and harsh, unforgiving environments. Stories that circulated in hushed whispers among the galactic community. The others, mostly silent and wide-eyed, shared her nervous excitement, each one of them filled with a mix of curiosity and fear. The ship's commander, a tall Orithian with a face like smooth marble, was the first to speak as they neared Earth's atmosphere. "Prepare for descent. The humans are eager to meet you, but remember, this world is hostile. The creatures here, including the humans themselves, can be deadly." The other students exchanged uneasy glances. Tessa's people, the Zeldrians, were known for their intellect and wisdom, but physical strength was never their strong suit. Earth, a place where survival seemed to be defined by brutal physical dominance, was far from an ideal setting for her, yet she was determined to see for herself why this planet held such a fearsome reputation. One student, a towering friend from the storm-ridden planet of Phenox, raised his hand. "Why do they call Earth a death world? We have heard rumors, but no one has explained." The commander's expression darkened. "I will answer your question, friend, but I advise you all to tread carefully. Earth is a place where evolution has favored predators, humans among them. They are resilient, dangerous, and fiercely protective of something you may never understand." The Zelrians and other students exchanged glances, their confusion palpable. What could Earth possibly guard that made it so dangerous? Why had it earned the title of Death World when so many other planets were far harsher? As the Icarus descended, Tessa couldn't shake the feeling that there was something far more profound about this planet than its harsh conditions. The ship landed gently on a patch of green surrounded by dense trees. A group of human scientists and officials were already waiting, their faces welcoming but unreadable. Tessa noted the way they stood, alert, scanning the horizon, as though they were prepared for something. She wasn't sure what, but it unsettled her. As the exchange students disembarked, they were greeted warmly but cautiously. A human woman, dressed in a beige uniform with the insignia of the Earth Science Council, smiled at them. "Welcome to Earth," she said, her tone polite but clipped. "We're excited to have you. I'm Dr. Emerson, and I'll be your guide for the duration of your stay." Tessa, though still feeling the weight of the unknown, nodded. "Thank you. We're eager to learn." Dr. Emerson led them on a tour of the local area, explaining Earth's biology and ecosystems. Despite the beauty of the landscape, Tessa was struck by the overwhelming sense that this was a planet designed by survival instincts, by brutality. The trees here were tall, the grass thick and abundant, but every creature, every plant, seemed to have evolved with a single purpose in mind: survival at all costs. As they ventured deeper into the wilderness, they encountered Earth's native animals. Massive, imposing creatures roamed freely. The African lion, its golden mane rippling in the wind, the gray, intimidating figure of an elephant, moving with power and grace. Yet these creatures were not gentle giants as Tessa had hoped. They were survivors, as much a product of their environment as the humans were. She learned that lions could bring down prey larger than themselves, and elephants, though peaceful by nature, would turn on any creature that posed a threat to them or their herd. Dr. Emerson spoke calmly but with a hint of reverence as she explained the animals. Earth's creatures have evolved to fight for their survival. Even the seemingly gentle ones can be deadly if provoked. Humans are no different. They have been shaped by this world, its dangers, its predators, its extreme climates, and they've adapted just like everything else here. There's a reason Earth is called a death world. Tessa's antennae twitched with a mixture of curiosity and anxiety. It was one thing to read about the dangers of a planet, but another entirely to experience it firsthand. She had expected fierce predators, yes, but she hadn't imagined just how primal the struggle for survival could be here. Every inch of this world seemed to fight against her. Later that evening, as they returned to the human settlement, Tessa overheard fragments of a conversation between two human officials. She couldn't understand everything, but the word artifact caught her attention. "They can't know, not yet," one of them whispered. "The artifact must remain hidden. It's too dangerous." Her curiosity piqued. Tessa's mind raced. What could these humans be hiding? She had been briefed on the history of Earth, its technological advances, its wars, but no one had ever mentioned an artifact. The more she thought about it, the more her suspicion grew. Earth was a dangerous place, but there had to be more to it than the hostile creatures and the climate. That night, as the group gathered to rest, Tessa shared her concerns with her fellow students. "I overheard something today," she said, her voice low. "The humans are guarding something, an artifact. They said it was too dangerous for us to know about." A hush fell over the group. Fren, the towering Phenoxian, shifted uneasily. "An artifact? What could it possibly be? We've seen nothing unusual on the surface." Tessa's antennae twitched, a signal of her unease. "I don't know, but I think we should find out. Whatever it is, it seems to be the reason behind the fear of this planet. It might be the key to understanding why Earth is called a death world." The next day, the group set out again, determined to learn more. They wandered further from the human settlement, following the vague directions they had overheard. They eventually arrived at an old, crumbling stone structure, hidden deep in a forest. Its design was unfamiliar, alien even. Tessa could feel a strange hum emanating from within. As they approached, the door to the structure slid open on its own, revealing a dimly lit room filled with strange machinery. In the center of the room lay a small, pulsating orb, glowing faintly. The air around it seemed to thrum with energy. Tessa took a step closer, her heart racing. She could feel it, the same unsettling hum she had sensed before, but amplified, as though the orb was calling to her. Before she could say anything, a voice rang out, startling her. "I see you found it." Professor Wren, the human leader, stood at the entrance, his face grim. "This is why Earth is a death world," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "This is what we guard. And it's far more dangerous than anything you've encountered on this planet. We protect it, because if it ever escapes, nothing will stop it." Tessa's breath caught in her throat. What they had found was more than an artifact. It was a power, something ancient, something incomprehensible. It was no wonder the humans fought so hard to keep it hidden. The true danger of Earth wasn't just its predators, it was what lay buried beneath its surface. And now, Tessa realized, they were standing at the threshold of something that could threaten the entire galaxy. The days following their discovery were filled with a sense of growing dread. The students continued their tours of Earth, but the thrill of exploration had begun to wane as the weight of their findings began to sink in. The truth about Earth had shifted from a curiosity to a concern. Tessa couldn't shake the image of the glowing orb, pulsing with a strange and unearthly energy, from her mind. The hum, that eerie vibration that resonated through the air, was something she would never forget. She tried to focus on the lectures, on the carefully planned educational excursions, but her thoughts always drifted back to that hidden chamber, the strange machinery, and the orb. There was something about it that felt wrong. No, more than wrong. Unnatural. As if it didn't belong to this world, and yet the humans guarded it like a precious relic. They had warned her about the predators, the deadly flora, the dangerous creatures lurking in the depths of the forests, but none of those warnings had ever felt so urgent, so insistent, as the secrecy surrounding that chamber. One evening, as the group of students gathered around a small fire in a remote section of the human settlement, Tessa found herself alone with Fren, the towering Phenoxian. His storm-riddled world had taught him to read the sky, to sense danger before it arrived, and to fight when there was no choice but to survive. But even he seemed to have become uneasy, his usual boisterous nature replaced by a more subdued demeanor. "Friend, we need to learn more," Tessa said, her voice low but determined. "That orb, whatever it isn't from this planet. The humans are hiding something, and I don't think they're being completely honest with us." Fren looked at her, his deep-set eyes narrowing with concern. "You think it's more than just a relic from a lost civilization?" "I am sure of it," Tessa replied. "We've seen how the humans react to it. They guard it as if their entire existence depends on it. If it were just some artifact, why would they go to such lengths to keep it hidden from us? There's more to this." Fren shifted his massive frame uncomfortably. "But what can we do? We're guests here. If the humans say it's dangerous, maybe we should trust them." Tessa's antennae twitched with frustration. "I can't. They told us Earth is a death world, but they didn't tell us why. There's something far worse beneath the surface of this planet, and we can't let them keep us in the dark." The others had begun to gather around the fire by now, and Tessa could see the same uncertainty on their faces. Even the Fren, known for his unflinching courage, was hesitant. But Tessa had a feeling that the answers they were seeking were buried deep in the heart of this strange, dangerous world. She could sense it in her bones, like the faint hum of that orb still echoing in her mind. The next morning they set out again, this time venturing further into the wilderness. They told the humans they were interested in exploring the ancient ruins of Earth's long-forgotten civilizations. While this was partly true, Tessa and her companions had other intentions. They needed to find more answers, even if it meant going against the humans' wishes. Dr. Emerson had warned them about straying too far from the settlement. "There are dangers in the wilderness that you haven't even begun to comprehend," she had cautioned. "You'll encounter predators far worse than anything you faced before. Earth is not a place to be underestimated." But Tessa was resolute. As they walked through dense forests and across craggy hills, she felt an inexplicable pull toward the area where they had found the strange structure. She had to know more, and she knew that the others shared her conviction. After several hours of trekking through the wild, they finally reached the location. The stone structure stood before them, its ancient walls cloaked in vines and moss. The air around it was heavy with a palpable sense of foreboding, and the faint hum that Tessa had felt before seemed to thrum louder as they drew near. Fren was the first to speak, his deep voice filled with awe and apprehension. "This place, it's older than anything we've encountered. It's not like any architecture I've seen, even on Phoenix."